Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Well, the government and the Conservative Party and Reform keep on about how the welfare bill is growing, that it's climbing. There's more applications than ever going in. There's more people being granted than ever before. But there's an article out there which actually talks about a report or figures that have come from DWP itself, which goes against what they're all saying. So I'm going to show you the article now, and then afterwards you can let me know down in the comment section what you think. Let's take a look. PIP claims and success rates fall. The latest quarterly statistics from the DWP show that the number of personal independence payment claims and success rates have fallen in the past quarter. There has also been a fall in the number of planned award reviews that result in an increase. The figures show that the quarter to July there were 210,000 new PIP claims, which is down by 3%. In addition, the success rate from new PIP claims was 41%, excluding withdrawn, a decrease from 46% in July 24. This means that over 1 in 10 claimants who would have got an award based on last year's statistics would not get one this year. When only those claimants who got as far as an assessment are taken into account, the fall in success rates is very similar, 48% as opposed to 53% in July 24. The official statistics only give a 5-year figure for PIP planned award reviews. Over the last 5 years, August 2020 to July 25, 76% of planned award reviews resulted in an increase, or no change to the level of award received by the claimant. However, examination of figures in StatsFlaw shows that a quarter to July in 2025, 66.47% of awards stayed the same or increased compared to just 55.3% in the same period last year. But whilst there has been an increase of almost a third in the number of reviews where the award stayed the same, there has been a fall in almost a half where the award was increased. There were 23,000 DLA to PIP reassessments carried out in the quarter to July. The success rate was 72%, down from 76% last year. When only those claimants who got as far as an assessment are taken into account, the fall in success rates is from 77% this July, as opposed from 80% in July 24. There have been some major shifts in which cases the DWP has focused on clearing. Clearance for planned award reviews, changes of circumstance and DLA reassessments in the quarter ending July 25 were 49%, 26% and 12% higher, respectively, than in quarter ending July 24, while clearance volumes for new claims decreased by 7% over the same period. Now, of course, you could speculate as to why these figures are falling. I mean, obviously, I think that there is additional pressure on the DWP to try and turn these figures around. Now, of course, it should be that these figures are based on evidence and that therefore, if there are less people being awarded a higher rate after a review, then really what that should mean is that people are perhaps being less eligible for an increase, or perhaps less people are applying for these things. But I think that there's also other things going on here, and I think it's difficult because, it's just my opinion. I haven't got any figures to back it up. I haven't got any evidence to back it up. But sometimes you do wonder whether pressure from government affects how the DWP deal with cases. It makes me wonder what happens behind the scenes. Now, of course, what I would also say is it's also a factor, of course, that a lot of people don't follow up on their PIP review. So if they go in for a PIP review, it's a very long and stressful process, and if people don't get awarded the first time, some people do just give up and say, well, they haven't given it to me, I'm going to leave it at that, because they don't want to go further with the process. But what I would say is, if you go for a PIP award and you don't get awarded, go for a mandatory reconsideration. It's very easy to do. There's no long process to go through. You simply ring the DWP and you just say you want to go for a mandatory reconsideration, and they will deal with it. And then, of course, if they say no after that, it is a longer process to go through tribunal. It is, of course, a stressful process as well, particularly if you want to go and be there at the time, or if you want to be on video call with them, or however it might work. Obviously, that is a very stressful process. But what I would say is that it is a worthwhile process because the tribunals do look at the evidence in a much better way than the DWP will, and lots of cases are overturned on appeal. So even though it is a very stressful process, I would say to you, you're well within your rights to appeal. Yes, it is another stressful process, and yes, it does take time, sadly, for appeals to be heard. But I would certainly think about doing it, because I think it's certainly in your best interests. If you think that you have the evidence, and if the evidence is there and they've just ignored it, then it needs to be put before a tribunal, in my opinion anyway. But let me know what you think down in the comment section on this. Do you think there's a reason why these figures are dropping? Is it because people aren't just applying anymore? Or is there, do you think, some other reason going on behind the scenes that we're not perhaps aware of? Let me know down in the comment section what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do subscribe if you've got this far, and I'll see you next time.